Hello.
Hey, is this Mary?
Yeah, who's this?
Mary, it's Sarah. Sarah Thompson.
Sarah? Oh my gosh. Sarah Thompson from Oak Ridge Elementary. Is this some kind of prank?
No, Mary, it's really me. How have you been?
Sarah. Oh my goodness, it's been forever. I didn't recognize your voice at first. How on earth did you get my number?
Well, it's a long story. I was scrolling through social media and saw a comment from Jack on your post. Remember Jack from Mrs. Johnson's class?
Jack? Of course. But how did you get my number from Jack?
Well, I reached out to Jack and asked her about you. He said he had your number and thought it would be a great idea if we caught up. So here we are.
Wow, that's amazing. It's been years since we last spoke. How have you been?
I've been good, Mary. Life has taken me on a wild ride since Oak Ridge. How about you?
Same here, Sarah. I've had my fair share of ups and downs. It's surreal hearing from you after all this time.
I know, right? So, what have you been up to lately?
Well, after high school, I went to college, had a degree in psychology, and now I work at a local counseling center. It's been fulfilling, helping people navigate through their problems.
That's incredible, Mary. I always knew you had a knack for helping others. As for me, I pursued journalism and now work for the local newspaper. It's been quite a journey.
Journalist? That's amazing. Always knew you had a way with words. Do you remember our crazy adventures back in school?
Oh, absolutely. Remember the time we tried to make a time capsule in 6th grade? We'd buried it near the big oak tree, and we were convinced we'd come back for it as adults.
Yes, I wonder if it's still there. We were so ambitious back then. What about our teachers? Miss Johnson and her endless math problems.
Oh, Miss Johnson, I can still hear her saying, "Math is the key to the universe." I never quite believed her, but she made it memorable.
And Mr. Roberts with his wild science experiments. I remember that one time the whole classroom smelled like vinegar and baking soda.
Classic Mr. Roberts. Good times, Mary. Do you ever miss those days?
All the time. The simplicity of it all, the innocence. It feels like a different lifetime.
Definitely. So, have you kept in touch with anyone else from our group?
Some. Emmy, obviously, and a few others on social media. But life gets busy, you know. People drift apart.
Yeah, it happens. But hey, we're reconnecting now, and that's what matters. Speaking of which, how's Amy doing?
Emmy's doing well. She's a graphic designer now living in the city. She'd love to catch up with you too.
That's great. I'd love to reconnect with her. Do you think you could share her number with me?
Of course. I'll send it to you after we finish our call.
Thanks, Mary. So what about family? Are you married? Kids?
No, not yet. I'm still figuring all that out. How about you?
Same here. No rush, right? I'm enjoying the single life, focusing on my career for now.
It's crazy how much has changed since we last talked. Do you ever think about the future, where life might take you?
All the time. I have dreams and goals, places I want to visit, stories I want to write. It's exciting, thinking about the endless possibilities.
I agree. Life is an adventure waiting to unfold. Hey, speaking of adventures, do you remember our plans to travel the world together?
How could I forget? We had this grand plan to explore every continent. I guess life had other plans for us.
Well, who knows? Maybe one day we'll pick up where we left off. Wouldn't that be something?
That would be amazing. Imagine the stories we could tell.
Yeah, the Oak Ridge duo taking on the world. I like the sound of that.
It's a deal then. We'll make it happen someday. Promise.
Promise. Hey, I'll send you Amy's number now. Let's not let so much time pass before our next conversation.
Absolutely, Mary. It was so good catching up with you. Can't wait to reconnect with Amy as well.
Likewise, Sarah. Take care and talk to you soon.
You too, Mary. Bye for now.
Hello.
Hey there. Is this Emmy?
Yeah. Who's calling?
Emmy, it's Sarah. Sarah Thompson.
Sarah Thompson. I'm sorry, I don't.
We went to Oak Ridge Elementary together. Does that ring a bell?
Sarah. Oh wow, it's been ages. I didn't recognize your voice. How did you get my number?
Long story short, I tracked down Mary, and she said it would be great if we caught up. So here we are.
Mary, that's a blast from the past. How have you been, Sarah?
I've been good, Emmy. Life has been quite the journey. And you?
Married life and all, you know how it is. But it's great. I can't complain.
Married? That's wonderful. Emmy, congratulations. Who's the lucky person?
His name is Chris. We met in college and hit it off. We got married a few years ago.
That's fantastic. Emmy, I'm genuinely happy for you. So, what are you up to these days?
I work as an accountant for a local firm. It's not the most thrilling job, but it pays the bills. How about you?
I'm a journalist now, working for the local newspaper. It keeps me on my toes, but I love it.
Journalist, huh? Always knew you had a way with words. Remember our English class with Mr. Anderson?
Mr. Anderson and his love for Shakespeare. How can I forget? Those were the days. Speaking of which, do you remember our childhood sweethearts?
Oh, you mean Josh and Lisa? How could I forget? They were the talk of the town back then. Wonder where they are now.
Yeah, I wonder. Last I heard, Josh became a successful lawyer and Lisa is a pediatrician. Funny how life turns out.
It is. But hey, speaking of childhood memories, remember the time we tried to build a treehouse in your backyard?
Oh, that was a disaster. We thought we were architects, but it ended up being a pile of wood and dreams. Good times.
Definitely. So how did you end up getting Mary's number?
I saw Jack's comment on one of your posts, tracked her down, and he gave me Mary's number. It's amazing how social media brings people together.
Small world, isn't it? So what about you, Sarah? Any significant other in your life?
No, not at the moment. I'm enjoying the single life and focusing on my career. But who knows what the future holds?
True, life is unpredictable. But hey, it's good to catch up after all these years. What are your future plans?
Well, I have this dream of traveling the world, experiencing different cultures, and telling stories along the way. Maybe write a book someday.
That sounds amazing, Sarah. You've always had that adventurous spirit. I hope you make it happen.
Thanks, Emmy. And what about you? Any big plans for the future?
Well, Chris and I have talked about starting a family. Maybe settle down in a quieter place. It's all in the planning stage for now.
That's wonderful, Emmy. Starting a family sounds like a beautiful adventure. You'll be an amazing mom.
Thanks, Sarah. It's surreal talking about these things with you after all these years. Remember when we used to dream about our futures during sleepovers?
I do. We had our whole lives ahead of us, and now here we are, living those lives. Time really does fly.
It does. Hey, let's promise not to let so much time pass before our next conversation. Deal?
Deal. Emmy, it's been great catching up with you. Give my regards to Chris. And hey, if you ever find Josh and Lisa, let me know.
I will, Sarah. Take care and let's talk soon.
You too, Emmy. Bye for now. Hey, Alex. I've been thinking a lot about improving my English lately. I mean, we use it every day, but there's always room for improvement, right?
Absolutely, Sarah. I've been on the same page. It's a valuable skill, and the more polished our English, the better we can communicate with the world. So, any specific ideas on how to make the learning process easier?
Well, one thing that really helped me is watching English movies and TV shows. It's like a two-in-one deal, entertainment and learning. Plus, it exposes you to different accents and colloquial expressions.
That's a great idea. I started listening to English podcasts during my commute. It's an excellent way to train your ear to different accents and tones. And you can do it while doing other things, which makes it so convenient.
Totally. Immersion is key. Surrounding yourself with the language helps a lot. I even changed my phone and social media settings to English. Small changes, but they add up.
Speaking of small changes, I've been reading more in English lately. Not just books, but articles, blogs, anything I can get my hands on. It not only improves your vocabulary, but also enhances your understanding of sentence structures.
That's a smart move. I've got this habit of maintaining a vocabulary journal. Whenever I come across a new word, I jot it down with its meaning and an example sentence. It's like building my own personalized word bank.
Nice. And you know what helps me remember words better? Using flashcards. I create flashcards with the word on one side and its definition on the other. It's a quick and efficient way to reinforce my memory.
Building vocabulary is crucial, but so is practicing speaking. I found a language exchange partner on mine. We chat regularly, and it has immensely boosted my confidence in conversational English.
I've been doing something similar, but with a twist. I record myself speaking and then listen to it. It helps me identify areas of improvement, like pronunciation or grammar. Plus, it's a great way to track progress.
That's a cool idea, Alex. And you know, I started participating in English discussion forums. Expressing my thoughts in writing has improved my articulation and has also introduced me to different perspectives.
Speaking of writing, I've been using grammar-checking tools like Grammarly. They not only correct your grammar, but also provide explanations. It's like having a personal English tutor at your fingertips.
Oh, I love Grammarly. It's like my safety net when I'm unsure about sentence structures or punctuation. And you know, I try to write a journal in English every day. It doesn't have to be long, just a few paragraphs. It's a great way to practice and reinforce what I've learned.
Smart move. I also try to write short stories or essays. It not only sharpens my writing skills, but also allows me to experiment with new vocabulary and expressions.
Have you tried language learning apps?
Absolutely. Duolingo and Babbel have been my go-to apps. They're like a game, making learning fun and engaging. Plus, they fit into my schedule seamlessly.
I use them too. And recently, I joined an online English course. Having a structured curriculum and a professional instructor has provided me with a solid foundation and a clear path for improvement.
That's awesome, Sarah. A combination of self-paced learning and a formal course seems like the perfect recipe for success.
You know, Alex, the most important thing is consistency. Learning a language is a gradual process, and being consistent in your efforts pays off in the long run.
Absolutely. It's like building a habit. The more consistent you are, the more natural it becomes. And patience is key too. You won't become fluent overnight, but every small step you take adds up.
Patience is a virtue indeed. Celebrate the small victories, and don't be too hard on yourself. Learning a language is about progress, not perfection. Hey Jake, it's been a while. How have you been?
Not too bad, Sarah. Life's been keeping me on my toes, you know. Speaking of which, I've been thinking a lot about the importance of learning English lately.
Oh, what sparked that sudden interest?
Well, you know how interconnected the world has become. English seems to be everywhere. In business, education, technology, you name it. I'm starting to wonder if not being proficient in English might be a significant disadvantage.
You're absolutely right, Jake. English has become the lingua franca of the modern world. It's the language of international business, diplomacy, science, and technology. Being able to communicate effectively in English opens up a world of opportunities.
Yeah, and I've noticed that job listings often require proficiency in English. It's like a prerequisite for many positions, regardless of the industry.
That's true. Employers are looking for candidates who can navigate a globalized workplace. English proficiency is often seen as a valuable skill that enhances communication and collaboration, especially in multinational companies.
I've also been thinking about how English plays a role in education. Many universities and research institutions worldwide use English as the medium of instruction. It seems like if you want to access the latest knowledge and research, you need a good grasp of English.
You hit the nail on the head, Jake. English is the key to unlocking a treasure trove of information. From academic journals to online courses, a strong command of English allows you to tap into a vast pool of resources, enriching your educational experience.
It's not just about academic advantages, though. Knowing English opens up the possibility of studying abroad, immersing oneself in different cultures, and building a global network.
Communication is another aspect where English plays a pivotal role. Think about it. When you travel to a foreign country, English often serves as the bridge language. It helps you connect with people from diverse backgrounds.
True. I've heard stories of people traveling to remote places and still managing to communicate using English. It's like a universal code that breaks down language barriers.
Absolutely. English proficiency fosters a sense of inclusivity and enables individuals to engage in cross-cultural exchanges. Whether you're a tourist, a business traveler, or an expatriate, having a good command of English makes the experience smoother.
And let's not forget about technology. English is the language of the internet, programming, and innovation. Many of the cutting-edge developments and breakthroughs in science and technology are documented and discussed in English.
Have you ever tried coding without knowing English? It's like deciphering an ancient script. English is the language that brings programmers, engineers, and innovators together, allowing them to collaborate and push the boundaries of what's possible.
You know, Sarah, beyond the practical advantages, I've been thinking about the cultural aspect too. English is not just a tool for communication. It's a gateway to literature, movies, music, and art from around the world.
That's one of my favorite parts about learning English. You get to explore the richness of various cultures through their literature and entertainment. It broadens your perspective and enhances your appreciation for diversity.
I guess learning English isn't just about adapting to a globalized world. It's also about enriching our lives with the vast cultural tapestry that the language encompasses.
Of course, learning a new language comes with its challenges. It's not always easy, but the benefits far outweigh the difficulties. The key is persistence and finding enjoyable ways to learn.
I've been considering taking up English classes or maybe finding a language exchange partner. It's time to invest in a skill that seems to be increasingly essential.
I hope you liked this conversation. If you could improve your English a little more, please subscribe to the channel and share this video with a friend.